me to her now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Faith Saxon, your favorite mentor. We are live on Woman Crush Wednesday, where we elevate on every day, period. And today we are talking on cultivating your purpose. And I have a wonderful, beautiful guest, Penny Pro, artist Penny Pro. And y'all, let me do a side note. I've known this girl, honestly, my whole life, right? Yeah, I think I would know this girl my whole life. And I've watched her grow into a beautiful divine being, with her confidence with herself, her artistry, her journey, and she's here to showcase what cultivating purpose means for her. So without further ado, we have the wonderful and one and only Penny Pro. What up, girl? How you doing?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Yes, you definitely have known me. Like, if not all of your life, if you were like a year or two older than me, then definitely all of my life, I might as well say. And you have definitely seen the process from scratch.
Very much so.
The making of this entire person, and I'm still in the makings, but up until now, you have definitely been there the whole time. You and I have a hilarious history when I think about it when we were little or whatever. Like, I'm very happy just that we're right here at this moment now, because I'm sure you remember us as kids, and then to see us both, like, who would have thought?
Right.
But no, I'm really grateful for you having me on here, and I think it's super dope. Like, I've been amazed ever since you launched, your whole project or whatever. I've been amazed to see the growth in you. Just like you say, you see it in me. I've seen so much growth and inspiration come from you. Just
thank you.
Literally seeing you go from one version of yourself, because you didn't change. It's not like you're being somebody fake now, but you're a completely different woman now than you were.
Very much so.
When younger, and I'm super duper proud of the woman that you're growing into, and the woman that you wake up and you decide to be every day is so cool. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Listen, I'm not gonna cry on this episode. I'm gonna try my best, but I'm very proud, and we're gonna dive right into it. And once again, I'm gonna thank you a lot more, just because your presence is very valuable on this show. So, cultivating purpose for you specifically. How would you define purpose? A two-part question. How would you define purpose, and what does that look like for you?
For me, if I had to define purpose, I would just basically whatever God had in mind when he created you. Like, I don't think that God creates anything without a purpose, without a role, or without a reason. Some type of function that we perform. Everything on earth performs some type of function. And so I like to think that when God created me, there was basically like a vacancy that he had open. He needed somebody to come and perform a certain duty, a certain role, fit into a certain part of the puzzle. And that's what my purpose is. My purpose is to become that piece of the puzzle, and to find out what it means, where I fit into his full, puzzle picture. So I'm just one small piece in his picture. And then the second part of what does that look like for me? I think I'm still trying to find that out, honestly. Like, I think when I picture myself really, really, really understanding my purpose and what purpose means to me, I kind of picture myself arrived, like there, and like looking down and like seeing that big picture. So right now I can't see the picture. All my job is to try to become that piece of the puzzle. And then once I become my piece and he fits me in where I can look around, I'm like, oh, this is why, you know what I'm saying? So
right. That's real. So do you see your artistry as being a part of the purpose?
Definitely. And I'm glad you said a part, because I don't see it as my full purpose. I'm still, like I said, day by day, waking up and trying to figure out exactly what it is that God has me here to do and what he desires from me. But I've always felt so deeply connected to writing first, and then music. So as you remember, it started off with me writing poems all the time. I was just always writing poems and performing them or reciting them at church and stuff. And then eventually it turned into songs, and me having more and more of an interest in being in the choir and stuff like that. And that was an interesting time in my life. But yeah, I just always had a passion for writing and for singing. So I think music is definitely going to be a part of whatever it is that God has for me to do. But I never saw music as the end all be all. It's just always been something, his way of communicating with me, so that I can become everything else he needs me to be.
That is beautiful, girl. So I know, y'all, this girl can really sing. Like,
thank you.
Sing with an A. Y'all definitely check out her music. We're definitely going hype, not really hype, but definitely showcase that at the end, any upcoming projects. But specifically, at what point did you decide to take a leap into music?
I honestly don't remember. It was just it's one of those things that if I could say I like was born into it, I would say I was, because like my dad and his brothers, they had a group called Heaven Bound, like before I was even born. And then when I was very little, yeah, they had a singing group. They had little CDs and all of that. I should play something for you one day. They were really good too. I'm not like making that up. My dad and his brothers were really good. And so when I was little, I used to always just scribble. Like other kids like to play with toys and stuff like that. I like to pick up something and write. And so my dad, before I could even write or know what a letter was or any of that, my mom said my dad would bring me composition notebooks home, went just randomly from work, and I would just fill all the pages up with letters and scribbles and stuff. And eventually they evolved into letters, and then eventually they turned into words, and then the words turned into stanzas. You know what I'm saying? I started writing poems. Like that's literally how it happened. And so I don't necessarily remember a point where I just decided, hey, I like music, I want to do music. It's kind of like it's always been a natural flow thing that I didn't even realize I was doing it, you know.
Wow. So did your dad ever read your work?
Yeah, he used to way more when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I found that I kind of like got to a point where I was protecting my work, hiding it. I don't want to expose this. I don't want my parents to even know, because if you read my poems or my songs, it kind of gives you a sneak peek into what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, and what I'm dealing with. And sometimes we're not ready to talk to our parents about how we're feeling, or if we down about something, or even if you got a crush and you wrote a song, about a boy giving you butterflies. So I found that I started to like hide my work and keep it a lot more locked up to myself over the years. But now if like I let him know, hey, I just put out a new song, or I just recorded this, I want you to hear it, he's still 100% interested, but he also knows how to give me my space.
That is dope. So I'm gonna switch it up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I know our parents are completely different. So
they kinda.
Y'all always say that. Keeley said the same thing, and I was like,
I'm telling you, girl, they was friends for a reason.
That's true. That's true. Specifically, my mother, no shade to her, just it is what it is. She like her gospel,
yeah, for sure.
I know your music goes outside of that box as well. Mm-hmm. Did your parents have any like setbacks, especially with what you said about sharing your work initially? Did they have any like?
Oh yeah, they still do.
Really?
Yeah, but they, what I'm saying, at this point, I'm old. They let me do me, but I always start rambling. But yes, they still do cringe every now and then when it comes to certain stuff like old school. I'm pretty sure that's not their song. You know what I'm saying? Like they support me in it. They still like, oh, okay, we proud of you, good job. But I don't think they're gonna turn it on and listen to it. My mother heard it one time and she was like, oh yeah, it get rough at the end. And so yeah, she still texts me and be like, I'm just trusting God that one day, the music will get a little more clean and you won't have to use the cussing and all of that stuff. But at the same time, she understands that this is where I am in my life. Like right now, I'm not gonna pretend to be something that I'm not. So if I cuss, well, I'm gonna sit and try to act like holier than thou for, and then somebody catch me cussing on, you know what I'm saying, my real life, and I'm acting like, oh, I don't cuss in my music because I'm so perfect. But then they hear me slip up in real life or something. They're like, she not being authentic. And not that I'm worried about that either. It's just this is just me. I cuss, so my songs might have a cuss word in it.
I stand 100,000%, and I know, like for me, that's a real good thing that you showcase was the being authentic, and not really care, not really saying caring, but also not really caring about the opinions of other people and how that defines you in a sense, especially your parents, because that's hard. Like with me, that was hard to separate.
Yeah.
I just started getting used to just saying ass or something, and my mom still, oh God,
right.
Mom, calm down, breathe. It's not even
right.
But just enjoying me. So I appreciate you being honest and open about that, because most artists will not. Most artists, it's a facade because that's where the money's at. You know what I mean?
That's...
So that being said, did you experience any negativity, self-doubt, fears about taking this journey?
I think this is probably my favorite question. Mm-hmm. And I think it's my favorite question because the answer is such a strong and heavy yes. And I think it's an ironic question. The timing of this interview came very ironically because, and this is a very vulnerable moment, but it's faith. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you for your interview. I've actually been in sort of a pretty dark place actually for past couple of, it's been a while actually, but like I would say it's been pretty intense for the past couple of weeks or so, maybe specifically the past couple of days. Haven't really been doing much writing, haven't been doing much, haven't felt very inspired, any of that stuff. Just really just been trying to survive, literally just trying to wake up and get through every day and do what I need to do, and then get in the bed and lay there until the sun comes up, still not being able to sleep, just crazy stuff. But yes, to answer your question, there's been a lot of negativity, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of questions. But I remember when I first started putting music out, because I started making music, like I said, I don't even remember when, but I started sharing music in April of 2019. And I remember I made up my mind, like I still wasn't ready. I just had made up my mind at that point. Like, I'm tired of holding this to myself. Like, for some reason, something keeps pushing me to share it. And so it's time that I just start being real about, this is something I'm passionate about. This is my form of expression. And I want to be all the way me. You know what I'm saying? And so keeping that a secret that I was so passionate about music, and that I make music and I write music, that was not allowing me to be all the way me for people. And so when I started sharing in 2019, I remember feeling so liberated and so like proud of myself for probably the first time for real. And I got a good response. And so that made me feel good, and it helped me to keep going and keep going. But then I faced some setbacks with COVID, not being able to get into the studio, not being able to be around people, just get inspired to write something or vibe the same. I went through end of a relationship, that really kept me involved in music. He and I both had a huge interest in music, and so that was something that we did together. And so it was just like music was just getting ripped away from me in different ways, you know what I'm saying, like from all different angles or whatever. And so trying to get back into it, and I know this is a long-winded answer as usual, but trying to get back into it, I've written a couple of songs or whatever that I actually recorded or laid down, and they came out successfully. I haven't put them out yet, but I've been getting back into writing slowly but surely. But lately, like I said, these past couple of days, I've just been feeling that very familiar feeling of doubt and fear and uncertainty and stuck. And so yes, I've had a lot of that in this journey, and I'm in a place where I'm experiencing a lot of that right now. But one of the ways that, some of the things, like you said, what do I use to assist me? That's why I tell people keep going, because like no matter what, you got to find some kind of way to keep going. So I don't care if it's just me getting up. Like I literally will get up in the morning and roll over and open my journal, and I don't have to write a song or a poem. I'll just write the first thought that comes in my head. Like even if it's like I remember I rolled over a couple of mornings ago and I just wrote, "Thank you, God," or "Dear God, I'm grateful," or "Dear God, thank you for still loving me." You know what I'm saying? I just, whatever is the first thought on my brain, I just allow myself to write that lately. And I noticed that starts to, stimulate the writing and help me to start releasing stuff more and more, where I do start to create poems again, and then they start to build into songs again and stuff like that. So what I've been using to assist me is I just find a way to keep going. And one of the ways I had to keep going was getting on this interview. Like I was so scared to get on here because I'm like, I'm not in a place where I feel very inspirational or very motivated for my own dream and for my own passion or my own purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel lost right now. And so I was scared to get on here and do this interview, but I was determined that we were going to get it done. Because like I said, this is how you do it. You keep going, even when you feel fear, even when you feel unsure, even when you feel like you're not going anywhere. You just keep moving your feet.
Girl, first and foremost, I'm very, very proud of you on all levels.
Thank you.
I've also been there. And now I'm not crying. I'm just gonna let it flow. Like,
do your thing.
Real. And you really showcased something so beautiful when you was like, You know how, no, when you was like, even if you roll over in the bed and you just write something, even if it's something small, if it's something like gratitude. So you pinpoint on something that it doesn't have to be much in order to keep going. You know, a lot of times we feel conditioned, I feel like as a society, that you have to do something big or grand, especially in the artistry
Yeah.
world. Or like me having a business, I have to do this, and this.
Yeah.
You just getting up and having the willpower to say, I can do this despite the other feelings, you know, acknowledge the other feelings there. That is a beautiful testament to you being resilient, and honestly, you freeing yourself just by being open and transparent. So I appreciate that, because guess what? You were hesitant and stuff in here, but we post this is going to help somebody. Somebody
Yeah.
in that same predicament that you are, with the same music ideas, same, you know, creative juices flowing, but they don't know what to do. So, girl, I'm very proud of you, and
Thank you, babe.
this is
And
only
you honestly, that's why I said I'm so proud to see the woman that you're becoming too, because I obviously you must not have an idea of how what you do helps people, because you continue to do it every day. So if you felt like it wasn't doing anything, I think at some point you might have stopped. But you kept going, and so I think you must know that it does really help somebody, and one of those somebodies is genuinely me. Like, literally, just watching you get up and you might like bounce around in a silk dress or something, like like it just, you don't understand how that energy radiates, and it I think it hits home even more for me, because like I said, I know Faith. I remember Faith, and to see her, and I see what you're doing now, it doesn't look fake to me. It looks very genuine. It looks just as real as the Faith that I remember. And so I'm like, this is really who she has evolved into, and what that does for me, I can only imagine what it does for people who have no idea of, you know, who you are or where you come from, and they just see this grown woman now who is still waking up every day and choosing joy, and then not only choosing it for herself, but
for other people,
pushing it onto other people, like not shoving it down their throats, but it's in a way that we can't resist it. You know what I'm saying? Like, your joy just radiates through your posts and your presence. And so I think that's like what you do helps me. And this is what we talk about when we talk about purpose. That's what purpose means. Like, if you didn't do your part, maybe I wouldn't have had the energy to get up today and be on this interview with you. And then if I didn't get on this interview today, maybe somebody might not ever see this interview and they might never do their part. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so it's just so important how it all plays hand in hand. It's just like this. Everybody is so connected. Nobody is above, nobody is beneath. We all just move around in a circle to make that picture.
That girl, well, here the tears. One. I appreciate that, because you are correct. That's why I said I know where you're at, because I did quit, because I was like, what's the point? I said, or like you, I don't have the joy. I don't have, and I don't want to take, I don't want to do whatever, but it's like something innate was like, not say purpose or keep going. This is bigger than you. God didn't give you these gifts in order for you to sit stagnant. And realistically, stagnation doesn't do anything for my spirit. It just honestly depresses me, for lack of better words. And you have to thrive in that. You can't. You know what I mean? So thank you, because sometimes, you know, even with the understanding that, you know, I'm doing this outside, it's, you know, nice to hear external validation from people who I know who actually care, not just they want to see me fail secretly. So I appreciate that, girl.
No, it's real.
Let me see if I get back. Now I gotta pull it back in.
That's all right. Reel it in.
No, you good. This is good. Would you say your music has helped you grow spiritually?
Yes.
How so?
Sorry, I'm thinking. But I would say that my music has helped me grow spiritually, because it's another long-winded answer. I'm gonna try to just
go for it. I like long-winded.
So basically, you know, you and I both grew up in church together.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we had a very good church, very good foundation. But with all of the good, I think there was still a hint of religiousness in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, more so, we're not doing it for a relationship. We're doing it out of a ritual kind of thing. And so I had a certain understanding of God up until probably like the age of 23, 24. And then I feel like I met God all over again, I swear. Wow. And the God that I knew would not accept me, who I am right now. He would never accept me, because I'm not perfect. The God that I know now, who I believe to be the true God, while he might not condone everything that I do or give me the green flag, just like I said about my parents earlier, they might not like some of the things that I do. That's never going to change their love for me as a person. You know what I'm saying? And so in my music, I find myself struggling because I want to be authentic, but I also want to still give reverence because that's in me. You know what I'm saying? So I find myself struggling to say, God, is this okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this okay to say? I hope you don't think that I'm trying to make you look bad, or I hope you don't think that I'm saying that you aren't a good God. I'm just human and giving my truth because you made me human, and I only have this truth because you allowed me to experience it, right?
That's
And so
real.
I feel like my music has allowed me to draw closer to God because it showed me that everything that comes out of my mouth is not going to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be authentic. It's not going to be like God spoke it himself. And so I get afraid, like I said, I get hesitant sometimes because I don't want to feel like I'm disrespecting God. I don't want to feel rejected by God. I don't want to feel like I'm choosing music over my love for him and my reverence for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that every time I express myself and it's just authentic, it's just genuine. And like I said, it might not come out Christianly perfect or whatever, biblically correct, but God still, I still can tell that it came through me because God allowed it. And so my music has helped my spiritual journey in such a way that it showed me that I don't have to be perfect, and my music doesn't have to be necessarily gospel music for God to use it. That's what I'm trying to get to. Like, God can still use my music, even though it's not perfect and it doesn't fit into the genre of gospel. He can still use my music to talk about, to introduce himself or make himself more known to somebody else.
Correct.
Because it might be somebody who would never turn on a gospel record. You know what I'm saying? They would never turn to 104.1, but they might listen to my music. And they like, why she always talking like she know God so well, but she ain't perfect. So that lets them know that they don't gotta be perfect either to know him like I know him. Because my relationship is real. My relationship with God is real. You can't question me on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make me question that. And so when you see that I'm not perfect and you hear that I'm not perfect, yeah, write it down and remember that, because I do have a real relationship with God. And so you're not perfect either, but you can too.
You know what? That is actually a really good point, because I heard two things out of that. One, you're undoing the facades of, like you said, the rituals of religion and what that looks like for music. You're meeting people where they're at, because realistically, as Christians, you can't get wrapped up in, well, you got to do this, and this. I'm to honor you and to respect you, but that's not making room for the human aspect of who you are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then that's going to cause more stress on you because, oh, I can't do this. I can't, like I used to.
Exactly.
I mean, you saw cases of that. And then I realized what you just said, like God is using you to plant seeds. And that's required of us, period. You know what I mean? Because, if we look at Jesus, realistically, he wasn't up there, doing this and condoning everybody, this homosexuality, this, like human beings do, because they get under that false pretense of, oh, I'm high.
Yes.
You're literally doing like what Christ did. He would meet people where they're at. You know what? Let me go in the alley with the prostitute and let me speak their language. Let me go and let me speak their language. That's essentially what you're doing. So you're allowing God to use you as a vessel. And you're right. He is going to honor you for that. And I'm glad you're going confident in that, because that's exactly what we need. Realistically, we have a lot of gospel artists. Like, let's be honest, gospel artists. We got a little, a lot of good secular artists as well. But there's not a lot of artists like you. Combine both. Like, think about it. Like, there's a lot of people who can do both. They either lean to one way or the other.
Yeah.
I think you're cultivating something very beautiful, purpose. You know what I mean? So that being said, okay, I have like 3 more questions with that, but let me try to keep it on track, because I'll
do your thing.
I'll ramble like you too. But as a Black woman, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. As a Black in the music industry, because me personally, I've heard a lot of, like things like over sexualization of the Black woman with rappers specifically. I've seen, not seen, but I've heard about the disrespect that just the music industry is so. It's a what's the lack of better words I'm trying to. It's a effed up business. It can be.
Yeah, definitely.
So as a Black woman, what are some challenges you have experienced or seen with starting your music career?
People wanting to box you in. Like, if I had to come up with the first answer, Like people have their own idea of what a limitation is, and when you don't honor those limitations, they don't know how to process you. And so I'm a very multifaceted person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know my style. I
Yes, man.
dress up if I want to, and then a lot of times I like to dress real cozy. Like, that's just my style. That's how my mom dressed us. You saw that. And so people will try to say, nah, you can't dress like that. You can't do the tomboy thing. That's why I always correct them. I'm not a tomboy. So I'm not doing a tomboy thing. I'm me, and I'm putting on clothes that I saw in the store and liked and I bought. And they fit well on my body to the way I like to look and the way I like to feel, and this is comfortable for me. And so they'll try to say, no, you got to pick one. Either you're going to do the tomboy thing, or you're going to be, no, I'm not going to be either one. I'm going to be me.
Right.
Every time I'm going to be me. And then they even do that with my music. You got to choose. Are you going to be a rapper? Or are you going to be a singer? I'm an artist. I write music. I write songs. So today when I write something, it might come out as a rap. Tomorrow, if I write something, it might be a whole love song. The next day, it might be a gospel song. You know what I'm saying? Because God didn't say, oh, she's a rapper or she's a singer, or, you know what I'm saying? He told me to write. That's what I do. He told me to create. And so whatever I create, if I know that it's for me, I'm gonna put it out. That's another thing people try to say, oh, you never thought about just being a writer for another artist then? No. When the thought comes to my mind, or I hear a song and I know that God gave me that song for this artist, it's their song. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting it go. But up until now, he's just now starting with me. He's just now getting me out of my own shell and opening me up and showing me the artist that I am. And so everything that he gives me is coming from my experiences. You know what I'm saying? It's born of me and born of him. And so I can't go and change it and say, oh, I'm not going to use this one because I'm rapping too much. Right. I'm not going to use this one because I'm singing too much. How much sense would that make? I make music. I don't care if I learn how to play the guitar and I play a whole song with no lyrics and I just play it on the guitar. I make music. I'm an artist. I do more than make music. You know what I'm saying? I draw sometimes. I like to color. I like all type of things. You know what I'm saying? I just like to create and be an outpouring of everything God is constantly pouring into me, and life is constantly pouring into me.
So based off of what you just said, I don't really like using missed opportunities because what's meant for you is meant for you. But in the music sense, have you missed out on opportunities based on them trying to put a label on you and you saying you stand your ground?
Yeah, for sure. Trying to mold me into this sex symbol.
Really?
Yeah, like, but it happens in subtle ways. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's what they was trying to get at when they was doing the, you can't do the tomboy thing. You got to kind of, no, why can't I do the tomboy thing? Because y'all feel like I'm not selling any sex if people think I'm gay. And so, yeah, like, I've definitely missed out on certain things, but I wouldn't even say missed out, because the things that I missed out on, I found that most times I declined. Like if it wasn't for me, I wasn't interested.
Right.
And so, yeah, it might feel like a missed opportunity because that could have led to, yeah, maybe I didn't really want to do this, but because I did this, it opened the door for me to do this, that, and the third. I'm sure I've missed a couple of those. But at the same time, if I go into something that I knew wasn't for me, it's no way that the doors that are opening are going to be for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I do the math, at least. Like, it's going to be great doors opening. It's going to be great opportunities, but those doors are not going to be no more for me than the first door I went into.
Wow.
If that first door I went into, I knew I had no business stepping foot in. So
it's almost like a discernment. You're using discernment.
Yeah, you can never be scared to miss out. Don't be scared to miss out.
Wow. Somebody needed to hear that today, because
for real.
Conform and want to do, especially in the music industry, from what my understanding is, they sorry you hear Gary in the background.
No, you good.
But yeah, so most people want to conform, but I lost what I was trying to say, but it's okay. You get what I was trying to say for the most.
Yeah, I hear a lot of artists, especially around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I go and meet new people or whatever, I hear a lot of artists say they'll do whatever it takes. Like, whatever it takes. And I've never been able to relate to that. While I feel it, like, I feel that. I know where they're coming from, because you want that. You want it so bad. Like, it feels like you would, it's nothing that you wouldn't give up, or nothing that you wouldn't take on to get what you want. Sometimes people feel like that. But me, no. I understand what comes from wanting something too bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it is some things that I won't do to see my dream come true. Like, I know for a fact if I did this thing, all of my dreams would come true. But I know for a fact if I did this thing, You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my nightmare's coming true too. And so no, I'm not willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do whatever God has for me, whatever God directs me to do and enables me to do. I will do those things, but not whatever it takes. No, I have boundaries.
Absolutely.
What if it take my soul? What if it take, you know what I'm saying?
That was my next question. Now you just created another question. So I want to get to the nitty gritty. From what you've seen, because people talk about Illuminati, people talking about but artists selling their souls, and I do believe a lot of that is true. I just don't know the specifics on how things work, and I don't want to assume, oh, this is what somebody else said. So because you're very spiritually in tune, have you seen any like not really demonic presences, but like the shady demonic things that the music industry has a tendency of projecting? Have you seen any of that?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You see that every day, like in every avenue. Like the devil is
trying
busy, like old people say. For real, he's a busybody. Like that's what I was trying to pull up this tweet. Here you go. Polo G is he's one of the artists I'm very interested in right now. Super cool. He coming up, super dope, young artist or whatever. He said, selling your soul ain't necessarily a contract with the devil. Selling your soul is going against what's morally right for your own benefit. So when you snitch, you sell your soul. When you chase clout, when you pillow talk, when you cross somebody you love for money, just moving weird in general. And I believe that because I was so glad, I've been believed that, but I was so glad to see a young Black man understand this, because for him to tweet it, he had to first comprehend it, right? And had to first think about it. And so to see a person at his age and of his demographic understand this and share it with people, I don't think enough people understand that. They think selling your soul was really some contract. You meet up. They think that you really meet in some dark basement with all these old white men and they got fire on sticks and you sign your name in blood or something. They think that's what it is, selling your soul. No, selling your soul is exactly what I just said. When I know for a fact that I believe in Jesus Christ, and all this time I've been preaching the name Jesus Christ, and then I get an opportunity and they say, okay, we're gonna give you all of this, but you can't say Jesus Christ no more. You gotta only say God. And I agree that I just now sold my soul in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a way, because no, whatever is moral, like he said, going against your own morals, whatever is morally right to me, whatever my moral foundation is, if I decide to go against that grain for my own benefit in another way, usually a materialistic benefit or a status benefit, I might become more popular, more known, more loved, whatever, more rich, all of that stuff. If I was to decide today, I'm not gonna say the name Jesus Christ publicly no more because I want the benefits that come to me. I just sold my soul. Whoa. And you see so much of that. So to answer your question, have I seen any of that? Do I see any of that? You see it every day, all around you. And it's sad because people don't even, like I said, people don't even understand. And that's why I love the scripture, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. I pray that under my breath, probably every day. Under my breath, you will hear me pray that prayer every day. Wow. Because I look around and I might just see something. I'm just like, wow, it's not even my place right now to speak out and address it to them. But Father, forgive them because they don't know. And I pray that the Holy Spirit will convict them. You know what I'm saying? I pray that you will send your Holy Spirit to convict them and open their eyes because I can tell they're being deceived.
Wow. So you just kind of answered a question that just popped up in my head. But so do you ever, because you also have other artist friends as well, is there ever a time you actually do speak up and say, hey, look, I'm not.
Heck yeah.
Okay, good.
Another heck yeah. You know me. Like, I don't like nonsense around me. Mm-hmm. Like, especially if we, like you said, if they my friend, for real, they was my friend before they was an artist. I don't really have too many artist friends. You know what I'm saying? Too many friends I made strictly based off of music. Like, it's people I know, niggas I work with, all that type. But if I call you my friend, you really my friend. And so my friends who are artists, I'm gonna correct them. I'm gonna correct you even if you're not my friend, but I'm gonna correct you in a different way. You know what I'm saying? In a way where I just kind of put out my own experience. You know what I'm saying? And put out my own perspective of it and let you do with that what you will. Because you're going to get the message, but it's not going to feel like I'm coming down on you because that's not my place. But if you're my friend, you're going to know for a fact I'm addressing you directly. I'm still going to do it in love, still going to tell you my experience, still going to tell you my perspective, but I'm also going to tell you if I know that what you did was out of line. You know what I'm saying? And I'm even careful about how I do that, because what's out of line for me might not be out of line for you yet. What God convicted me of, he might not have convicted you of yet. You know what I'm saying? So he might be dealing with you on something completely different, and he ain't even worried about the thing that I'm sitting here nitpicking about. You know what I'm saying? He's not worried about dealing with that. He's dealing with something else in your heart right now. He gonna get to that. So I learned to trust God with correcting people. But yeah, if it's my friend, I feel it. You know what I'm saying? You know how you get that heaviness where you're supposed to say something right now. I'm gonna address it. Yeah.
So are most people receptive, like the ones you have spoke up to, or?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. And I think that comes from me I'm never coming from a place, or never trying to come from a place of judging you or saying like, you doing that, you are this or you are that, or you know what I'm saying? No, because I'm sure it's something that you could point out in my life that I don't got all the way up to top to tier. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's why people are so receptive about me when it comes to anything, because I'm always just like, I'm never gonna be God. And I always say I'm not God, and I thank God I'm not God. That's not a job I want. That's not a job I want. And so I'm never gonna make you feel like I'm trying to be God in your life. No, I'm just always here to help.
That is a beautiful testimony. So the next question I had, honestly, you just showcasing all of that kind of answered it. But if you have any more to add, definitely want to hear it. But I asked, how do you radiate light in an industry that tends to have hidden agendas? You honestly pinpoint a couple by discernment, by when to speak and when not to speak, by keeping your morals. No, I'm not doing that. What are some other ways that you are light besides your artistry and your words?
See, and I'm glad you're recapping like that, because you're picking up on certain stuff I'm saying, but I think that might have something to do with our history, like I said. And so other people might not have picked up discernment just now. They might not know what discernment is. Other people might not have picked up, sticking to your morals. They might not have. They might hear everything I'm saying, but you're like melting it down into very concise principles that people can remember and jot down. You know what I'm saying? So even if they just write down the word discernment right now, that's something good to take away. Just write down discernment. Don't try to memorize everything we just now said. Just write down discernment and understand it's something that you can study.
Correct.
But some other ways I would say, don't be eager to involve yourself with everybody and everything. Like I said earlier, don't be scared to miss out. But that goes a little bit deeper. Like, don't just bounce around like, oh, this person lit right now. I want to get beside him. Oh, Lil Durk let me in his section. I want to get in Lil Durk's section. Or, you know what I'm saying? Moneybag doing this. I'm trying to be around Moneybag. No, observe. You know what I'm saying? Watch people. Just like how it was a lot of us finding our friends in school. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wasn't friends with everybody. Most of us had a very small circle. So the same way that you pick and you choose, and you're very picky about who you surround yourself with in your personal life, do business that same way. Be picky about who you do business with. And so once you learn how to be picky and pick people based off of not just what they can offer you in business wise, but the type of person that they are, their character, their beliefs, their morals, you can kind of like just weigh the pros and the cons. Like, okay, well, they strongly believe this, I strongly believe that. You're not gonna change a person's beliefs.
Correct.
And so that might not be the person that you involve yourself with, because what they believe, I believe the exact opposite. And I'm not trying to be around them and let them influence my belief. And I'm not trying to go around them. You know what I'm saying? And so just be very picky. Just like you are in your personal life, be picky in your professional life too, about who you involve yourself with. That's the only other tip I think I have at this time, because I'm just now very brand new to all of this.
Right. So don't fall for the hype, the clout, pretty much.
Heck no. Don't be going for it because Shawty lit.
So does that also apply? I don't know if you have an agent. I know you say you're just starting off or things. That's even a goal, but would that apply? I'm assuming that would also apply to like agents and business partners. Or
Facts.
Okay, so what does this look like? Now I'm just like curious for my own self. Like, do you know? Or you learning still?
Learning, definitely learning.
Okay.
Don't be eager. Every hand that's reaching down, you know what I'm saying, to pull you up, don't be eager to grab that hand. Sometimes just stay where you at. Stay down here. Because you're going to have a lot of people who come to you and they can offer you a lot of opportunities, a lot of knowledge, a lot of networking, you know what I'm saying? They can offer you all of that because they really are established. They really do have money. They really do have the resources. But ultimately, what God has for you doesn't align with what they have for you. And they're not really gonna try to hear like, oh no, well, I feel the Holy Spirit telling me to do this, or I feel convicted. They're not trying to hear that. They trying to invest in you, and a lot of times you take that hand and you let them invest in you, and now they want what they want. You know what I'm saying? So be careful. That's why it took me so long. Like I spent a lot of time praying about a manager, about a team, and that's why you haven't seen me do any. I've been on other songs as a feature, but I've never worked with anybody and put them on my song as a feature yet. Because I take everything like very slowly and very seriously, and I'm cautious about a lot of things. And so I think that's one thing that's kept me out of a lot of this fake industry drama.
Right.
We're not even industry yet. Like, especially me, I got 1,000-some followers, nowhere near the industry. So the drama, imagine if I see this type of stuff on this level, imagine what I see when I really be, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so yeah, just like I said, don't be eager, be precautious. Don't be pressed to have a manager, don't be pressed to have a team. You are your team. Make it work. Get up and push the pavement. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it work.
That someone also needed to hear that.
And pray and ask God to send you who He would have you to work with. Because if you pick on your own, you might check off all the criteria. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you might know to check for, you're gonna check for, and they're gonna cross that. But God knows the heart. And so if you ask Him to send you the right team, He gonna send you the people that you work well with and that understand you and have your interest and His purpose in mind, even without them knowing that it's His purpose, because He's put them there, so they're gonna do His will.
Come on, you preaching. I'm with it. Come on now. So are you looking to, like, I know there's independent artists and there's sign artists. I kind of think I know the answer, but I want you to answer. Gonna get signed, or are you just looking to be independent, or you don't really care right
now? Yeah, right now, honestly, I don't really care. Only because my biggest interest right now is really just I need to get the music flowing. Like it was one point where I just had a flow. Even before I started sharing, it was actually way better before I started sharing. I feel like now that I started sharing, I'm fine tuning certain things because it's different once you put some art out and you get feedback, and that starts to shape and mold. And that's a good thing. It could be a bad thing, but it can be a good thing too. And so I'm trying to use it in the good way. But I'm just right now mostly interested in just getting the oil flowing, just where I'm back in that place. I remember a version of myself who couldn't sleep because I was up all night writing. I was up all night, and I'm just literally, it's about to sound crazy, but just literally so much color I felt in here that I literally had to get up, and I even had to write in different colors sometimes. Like I have so many different color Sharpies upstairs. I have to write different things in different colors sometimes. And so like, cause it was just like this fire I felt, and nothing I could do could put it out. And I didn't want it to go out for real. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just trying to get to a place where I get back to that fire. And I think that a part of me has been feeling like I jeopardized that fire by trying to put it out, because the fire gets to be too much. Sometimes it just becomes too much. And so you try to, melt it down with other things, you know what I'm saying? Like just crazy stuff. But then once you realize that once it's melted down, it's a little bit harder to reignite it. And so I think I'm at the place now of trying to reignite that fire. And that's my number one priority. But after that, I think I can look more into, okay, would I want to sign? Would I not want to sign? You know what I'm saying? But right now, I don't think I'm there.
Respect. I appreciate your honesty with that, on the real. Okay, so about going back to the colors, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. I know a lot of people probably won't get it, but that, as a creative and artistic, it's just a flow. To me, that seems like flows that represent the emotions. So that being said, is that
exactly
kind of represent your emotions? Like,
yeah, I would think that's what it's got to be. Because it's not a very like structured thing at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just writing, and then my brain will be like, next color, and I'll pick, which color, and I don't know how to explain it, but it just sequences perfectly. Like the once my brain processes the next thought, even before I'm thinking the thought, you know what I'm saying? You know how we think before we think?
Yes.
And then the thought becomes clear, and then once the thought is clear, you can say it.
Yeah.
And so when I'm writing, normally the thoughts are they're in the uh, embryo phase. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And so it's not even a real baby yet. And I'm
Wow.
just like spitting it out as fast as I can because sometimes when it turns to that real baby, it goes away. I don't know why. Like you give birth or something. But yeah, so I'm just, as soon as it's in that embryo phase, I'm just jotting it down. And sometimes like my brain will know that the next thought is a blue thought before I know it. And so I'll just pick up the blue marker and start writing with the blue marker. And then maybe the next thought makes me have butterflies or reminds me of like feeling loved or what it felt like to love somebody. So my brain knows to go to pink or, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. And so it's really fun and really cool, but I just wish it would happen more often.
Yeah. It's coming, girl. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
Right now, you're releasing.
I feel it. Like literally, I'm so glad that we finally got here because I needed.
Oh, we was gonna make this happen regardless. I was determined.
Nah, for sure.
All
That was for sure
because
anyway.
I said, no, this one gotta go because I knew you had something. Because honestly, side note, I didn't tell you this, but like when I was watching you, like just take these small steps to maybe someone else was, you know, who has been in the music industry, like, oh, maybe she's not doing enough. But to me, I was like, wow, she's taking leaps and she's doing it fearlessly to me, you know. And again, I knew you, and I knew you always was good at poetry, and I knew you was always good at singing, you know what I mean? And I watched you how even with, you know, the choir issues and things like that, even with all of that,
we gotta tell them about our choir phase at one point. Maybe not this interview, but maybe on a more fun, laid back, you know.
Alicia,
well, it's for fun and laid back too. Don't get me wrong, but
no, like even
on a more personal interview. How about that?
Yes, I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that a note too. Okay, but just watching you how you thrive, saying like from the music notes, like I don't know, you was an inspiration to me.
Oh, thank you, Faith.
And I wasn't gonna verbalize that because you know back then I was shy and I was like, oh, they ain't gonna know.
Yes, very much
But
so.
like I'm very proud of you and your gifts. You're cultivating your gifts and you're doing it fearlessly, despite what your feelings are telling you. I promise you, you are. But so that being said, what are your tips? What is your motivation? What is some thoughts towards like what would you tell somebody who's like, oh, I'm scared to use my gift, whether it's music, whether it's writing, whether anything? What would you say to a woman specific? Let's get more specific, a Black woman who to step out of that box.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell her, first of all, nobody's going to ask her to, honestly. It's going to be more, or let me say it this way, it's going to be more people in her life that benefit from her or think they benefit from her staying in that box than, you know what I'm saying, then she will encounter people who really need her to step out of that box and will only step out of their boxes when she steps out of hers. And so what I'm trying to say is people are always going to be more verbal about people are always going to be more verbal about your lack of value. And so people very well do see your value and see everything that you offer, see your light. But it's not too often that we verbalize those things. You know what I'm saying? Like we see somebody shining their light, doing great, you know what I'm saying, inspiring, ministering, encouraging. A lot of times we just consume those things and we keep going. We don't tell that person, hey, what you did for me, you know what I'm saying? Or because you went out and you did this, that made me feel empowered to do this. But let somebody do something that's offensive or harmful to us. The internet gonna go up.
Right.
You're gonna see 1,000 posts about why this needs to be corrected, why this needs to be addressed, why this can't go on, why this not okay. But we don't see people encourage you to go on too often. They just consume and they benefit from it and they keep going. And so all of that to say, if you're waiting for somebody to ask you to step out of your box, stop waiting. They're not coming. And or if you are waiting, this is me asking you to step out of your box. And I might be the only person who ever asked you. And so what I would tell another thing I would tell that person is, no matter what, that doorbell, and I speak in a lot of analogies, but just hear me out. That doorbell is going to keep ringing. The doorbell to your box is going to keep ringing. Meaning, as much as you want to stay in there, it's always going to be something inside of you that you hear pushing you to open that box and get out of it. It's not going to go away. That nagging feeling, that annoying feeling, that burning is not going to go away. And so you can be like me and you can wait. You can wait, what, 27 years? Well, I would say 25 because I put out my first song at 25. You can wait 25 years because I heard the doorbell my whole life. I'm telling you, I heard it there and it annoyed me and it frustrated me and it was just a lot. And at 25, I finally opened the door to my box. And now I'm 27 and I'm just now still understanding what's outside of my box. What I'm saying is the sooner you step out of the box, the sooner that you understand what's outside of it for you. And so waiting essentially is not gonna ever bring you the feeling of peace that you're looking for. The only time you're gonna have peace is when you finally answer that doorbell and you get out there and it's gonna be traffic in the street. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, people at your door, paparazzi, maybe, whatever. It's gonna be noise outside of that box. But that's what I'm adjusting to the noise now. The sooner you open the box, the sooner you adjust. So Black woman, if nobody ever asked you again, I'm gonna ask you, please step out of your box. Yeah. When you wake up tomorrow, just decide that you're no longer in your box. Go to sleep in your box tonight. Wake up tomorrow and open the box and never go back in there. And then number 2, the sooner you step out of the box, the sooner you adjust to all of the noise and all of the traffic and all of the light and everything else that's out there. Wow. So just step.
Wow. Without even realizing, you spoke to my inner child because, you know, I know you and I have, we had, but we talked about like my mental health issues, or I won't even claim that, mental health issues that I experienced in the past, anxiety, depression. And it's funny how you said, you know, if you continue to sit in that box, you're going to still have that urge, that motivation, that push internally to go. And I realized, like, as I learned myself and learned, you know, my own journey, that was the reason that cultivated anxiety, because I didn't speak up. I didn't speak up on a lot of things that I was, you know me, I was very passive, and I'm still learning now to just be assertive and be like, no, despite what anybody else might think. And it was a lot of, you know, that was why anxiety was present, because I was choosing to sit stagnant once again, and not into something physically and mentally. And realistically, it's not helping you. It's actually down to a lower status than what you could be, you know, to even sit in the box. So you, like, if I could have just heard that like 5-6 years ago, like, that would have like changed my whole life. And so you spoke to my inner child. That resonated with me, because it's like, I get it now. Get it. So thank you for the honesty, because you're gonna reach somebody with that, and I know that. And girl, you got we're gonna have to do part 2. I say that.
That's fine. And it might take us another month to figure out. You got my personal number. You know me personally. Just hit me up.
So all that being said, well, I could go on for days, but I'm gonna try to end it. I know you said you were kind of trying to figure your music out and where you want to go. Do you have any upcoming projects or anything that the world needs to know on top of your social? Where can we find you?
Okay. You can find me on any music streaming platform, number 1. So that means like Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, stuff like that. You can find my whole 3 songs. I got like 3 songs out there. You can find my music there. But I have some features on there too. So it's a couple of, you know, you'll get a good feel of, I think, me in what was that 2019? But I mean, the stuff from 2019 is still very real and very present to me today. So don't feel like you're getting like some outdated stuff, or no, that's still me. But the stuff that's coming is going to be much better. I don't have a date to give you guys, honestly, because I am trying to work with management now, as you saw. And so I'm kind of doing things not always on my time. But yeah, we are still recording, definitely. We're still writing. So I can't give you dates to look forward to, but I can give you things to look forward to. So the next thing you can look forward to, I plan on putting out a single very soon, within the next month or so, I would say. Plan on putting out another single. And then my ultimate goal, my ultimate focus right now is that first EP. And so this fall, I'm aiming to put out an EP sometime this fall. So between now and winter, I'm trying to put out an EP, and also in the fall, very early on in the fall, I plan to put out my first music video. And so, yes, we got to get that done. But yeah, we're just still, just like I said, keeping the wheels turning, keep waking up every day, trying to find a way to keep going. It's so much stuff, y'all, that just like, but my doorbell is going to keep on ringing. And so it's no point in me going back into the box. Like, the box is not my safe space. I have to remind myself every day that it's not, it feels safer. But once you get in there, you're going to remember how much you hated it there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so glad that you invited me to do this interview. I really needed this. And you've really like encouraged me and inspired me to go and write something. Yes. And I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, just look forward to that. Just look forward to this new energy that Faith just gave me, rejuvenated. We're going to put out some more music, man. We got to keep it going.
Yes, I'm really excited for you. Like, you had me a music video. I was like, oh.
No, I'm excited for that too, because you know me and cameras, we do not.
Yeah, I know. You always be like,
what if they give me choreography or something? That would be hilarious.
It's the owl.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, no, it's gonna be lit. So whatever I do, it might take a while. Like I said, I take my time with everything. But once I get it to y'all, I'm not gonna waste y'all time.
I'm so excited for you, girl. Y'all have no idea how dope this girl is, and this is only the beginning. So I'm gonna forever hype her because it's the. Tell everybody what's your socials.
Social PEN1 PRO. It's not Pen 1. It's Penny. You can think of like MySpace days, and it's a lot to think of, but just know it's Penny. It's pronounced Penny. Penny Pro. PEN1 PRO.
Awesome. I'm going to make sure I also put a link to actually your streaming sites and things like that, and your Instagram in the description below, since it's going to be on YouTube. So I got you, girl. We're going to get
you.
Sure. But that concludes our interview, girl. And once again, I'm so grateful for you and your presence, and you taking the time, going through the craziness, and being here, being present, showing up for not only me, but for yourself. And I'm glad you found a new inspiration. And girl, I'm excited for you.
No, thank you so much. And you make sure you keep going with this, because I think this is a really good thing that you're doing. I think you're going to help a lot of women, especially. You're going to help a lot of men and women. I see this reaching, but I can tell that you have a certain passion for women specifically, and I think this is going to help a lot of women get free. And you know what? I know your history, you know my history, and like I said, you're so proud of me, but I'm so proud of you. And so I want to see you keep going with this thing that you got started, because who would have thought?
Right.
For real. Not to say people didn't believe in either of us or think that either of us had anything to offer. But even with all that they knew we had to offer, who would have imagined this, you know? Right. And so you got to keep going.
Yes, thank you, girl. Yeah, it's funny that you said, because who would have thought? Because you know me when I was quiet, little old Faith, don't say
very quiet, very obedient, very submissive, very
Now you can't stop me. No.
Period. And you still can be all of those things. You still are all of those things, I'm sure. But there's a certain power about you that you finally stepped into, that you always had but never honored. And so I'm glad to see that you're now honoring that power. I can be submissive and obedient and kind and all of those things, and I can still put my foot down. That's what I'm happy to see.
That's true. Thank you.
That's what I'm happy to see.
Receive all of that. I receive all of that. Well, girl, thank you for joining me for Days About You. Y'all be on the lookout. We will have an update on when we're going to do this part 2.
Part 2.
Like she said, maybe a month from now. Who knows? But just know. So thank you so much, girl. And I hope you have a great evening and be great. For real.
Yeah. Take care and keep going.
Deuce. Bye.